Max Verstappen's title hopes have vanished after the DNF at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. The chances of the four-time world champion winning a fifth were already slim to none, but we can completely put it out of our heads now. Many Formula 1 teams have a no-blame culture, but I'm a content creator, and I will find out who's to blame for this debacle. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. Oracle Red Bull Racing, the team Max Verstappen drives for, brought some floor upgrades to Spielberg in a bid to compete with the dominant McLaren package. It's safe to say they didn't bring the performance they hoped they would. The free practice sessions went relatively okay, and it looked like Verstappen was third fastest behind the two McLarens. Yuki Tsunoda also seemed a little more at ease than before, so we had a little bit of hope going into qualifying. Tsunoda set a time only 2.5 tenths away from Verstappen, but with the field being so tight and the lap in Austria being so short, he ended up P17, another P1 exit for the Japanese Red Bull driver. Max Verstappen did make it into Q3, but he complained a lot about the balance, something we've been hearing almost every race. He was on a decent second Q3 lap when Pierre Gasly spun and triggered a yellow flag. Verstappen, being on 11 penalty points, was extra careful and lifted, so he qualified 7th on the grid. Max gave his young friend Gabriel Bortoleto a tow and he qualified 8th, just behind Max. That was nice. Good guy Max. It looked like Verstappen had a lot of work to do to get at least a podium. Lewis Hamilton, who's getting a little cocky again, found it necessary to say that he didn't expect to get touched at the start because Verstappen was behind him. A really weird thing to say, but okay. I find it very hard to like him for a long time. He always ruins it. So at the start, Verstappen got away well. Better than the last 2 races in any case. He stayed out of trouble, and then when he got to turn 3, young Italian Mercedes driver Kimi Antonelli hit the brakes too late, locked up and rammed into Verstappen. Both DNF'd. It was a rookie mistake that reminded me a little of Bottas in Hungary in 2021. But at least that was a wet start. Verstappen wasn't mad at Kimi and accepted his apologies. They would make a lovely pairing in the team. Anyway, the race continued. Norris won the race from pole. Piastri had overtaken Leclerc and finished 2nd, and Leclerc scored his 4th podium of the season. He was 3rd. So let's see who we can blame for Max Verstappen driving with the number 33 on his car next year. The easiest person to blame here is, of course, Kimi Andrea Antonelli. He was the guy who hit Max, so that's a no-brainer. However, what happened there is also just racing, and something that can happen if you start further down the grid. If Verstappen had started from P3, then he would have stayed out of trouble, like Leclerc did. So the next person to blame could be Pierre Gasly, who caused the yellow flag during Q3. But then again, that's also racing. I was quite impressed that the Frenchman got into Q3 in the first place, because the Alpine package is pretty bad, I think. He only had 1 set of soft tires and he wanted to do 1 hot lap to get the best from the track. He pushed a little too hard, still didn't want to give up and spun. It happens. So no blame for Pierre Gasly. I think we need to dig deeper into the Red Bull team. It's quite obvious that despite all the promises, the development team failed to create a balanced package. This is hurting the second drivers, but also Verstappen, despite his ability to drive around issues. I think we're getting to a stage where we need to question the skills of Pierre Waché and Enrico Balbo. I have a strong feeling that they're lost and are being held together by Verstappen's driving skills. I dare to say that if they had worked for any other team with less talented drivers, they'd be dead last in the standings. Now, I know they need to get time to learn their new roles. They haven't built many cars without Adrian Newey there. On the other hand, they think they know the issues, they are creating upgrades to fix them, but they're not working. Drivers who don't perform get replaced all the time. Some hard questions need to be answered during the summer break, because this is not acceptable. So a big part of the blame is on those two, in my humble opinion. But not all blame, because it wasn't their fault that the most talented and legendary designer left. Well, at least not that I know of. Adrian Newey left because he hates internal politics. He left McLaren and Williams for the same reasons. Now who's responsible for those internal politics? Well, Christian Horner had a lead role in that whole soap. He fancied the new more in-power position the Thai side of Red Bull offered him. And that's where the trouble started. I don't have the feeling Horner fought to keep Newey very hard, seeing his comments in public about his departure. He also didn't want to step down for a bit, even if Wheatley was available. So he's doing wonders at Sauber now. It looks like Jos Verstappen was right when he said that they would risk Red Bull falling apart if Horner stayed. So if I were to blame someone for Verstappen not winning the title this year, I'd start with the Thai fraction disrupting something that worked really well and Horner for going along with it and being stubborn in the process. And before you guys say,
Horner brought Red Bull where they are now.
I know that. He gets a lot of credit for what he did right, so he can also get stick for what he did wrong. Fair is fair. I think he's been fortunate enough with the support from the board in the past year, and you might not know this, but the story isn't finished yet. Next year there will be a British employment tribunal about the allegations of inappropriate behavior made by a former Red Bull employee. We don't hear about this in the news because a court order prevents British media from reporting on the matter. I can talk about it because I'm Dutch, and there's no use cancelling me. Nothing to cancel here. These bad results have led to more and more chatter about Verstappen leaving for Mercedes, and weekends like this, failed upgrades like this, only make the case for Max Verstappen to leave stronger. Amus has reported that the Verstappen clause to leave Red Bull is when he's 4th in the standings, and Russell is only 9 points behind him now. I hear other reports that Verstappen can go if he feels the car is not a title contender. It's hard to know what's true and what's not. It's not an ideal situation in any case. A move to Mercedes is looking more and more appealing. I'm getting to a stage where I'd welcome it, after weekends like this, just to be rid of all the politics and nonsense around the Red Bull team. I loved seeing Max in a team that was building towards something, where everyone was against them but they kept grinding. That's all changed now after the domination, and it's all coming tumbling down. Since we know Max Verstappen won't be in the sport for very much longer, I'd like to see him start building again in a new team. A less complicated team who are more popular than Red Bull. A nice uncomplicated few years in the new regs with a few more championships before he says farewell. I hope you don't blame me for dreaming, right? If you enjoyed this content, please like and hit subscribe. If you're already subscribed, I'd like to point out that I have memberships enabled in case you want behind the scenes videos and early access. Take care now. Doei doei. By a former Red Bull employee. You could